Hi everyone, it's Sarah Jane from Coco, and today I'm going to be talking about Invisalign. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but in my last few videos and also on my Instagram when I've done a few selfies, I have actually been wearing Invisalign, and it's actually really good that none of you have commented on it, so I don't think anybody has noticed, which is pretty cool. But I just wanted to share a little bit about my story and how I came to have Invisalign and how I'm actually finding it to be, just in case any of you wanted to go down that route of having Invisalign or any kind of brace. I've always wanted to have some form of brace, really from my late teens. I don't really know why I didn't have it when I was actually at school. I don't think my teeth were really that bad, but when my wisdom teeth started growing through, it kind of pushed some teeth forward, and it was something that I was really conscious of. And then when I started doing videos and things, I kind of really noticed it a lot more. Other people didn't, but for me, I really did notice. Then of course, when I proposed last year, we started thinking about weddings and things like that. We obviously have our wedding booked for July. I really wanted to have straighter teeth because whenever I see a picture, it's something that I really focus on. So I decided to start looking into it, and I went through a different processes to get to where I am now. So that's what I wanted to share with you. When I first started looking into any kind of teeth straightening treatments, I had a look at some local dentists, and I also looked at the 6-month smile and Invisalign as well. I actually went to a couple of different dentists in order to have a few different consultations. The first one I went to was in West Bridgford, and it was a really nice place, and I sat down and I had the consultation, and I sort of came away feeling a little bit confused about which way I wanted to go and the pricing and things like that. And then I went to another one in Wollaton, so it's called Wollaton Park Dental Practice, and I went to see Dr. Andrew Toy, and I have to say, as soon as I walked in, it was so friendly, and as soon as I met Andy, he was just so welcoming, and he sat me down and we had the consultation, and he was really interested in me and why I was wanting the treatment and what I was wanting it for, and we discussed, my expectations, what kind of thing I would want. We talked about the fact that I was getting married in July, so it was only a short period of time between then and actually getting married. And he gave me all my options and told me what would work and what wouldn't work. And basically, because I get quite a lot of swelling around parts of my gum, a fixed brace probably would irritate that. So he did advise on the Invisalign, which was kind of what I wanted anyway. That was always the one that sort of stood out to me, because with teaching and being in front of the class, I suppose you're just a bit more self-conscious if you do have a brace when you're a little bit older. So I was glad when he did recommend the Invisalign. He gave me the prices and he gave me time to go away and have a think about things. So when I came away, I kind of thought, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I really want this. I've wanted it for a long time. I know that it is expensive for something that people think is just vanity, but for me it's more of a confidence thing, and having straighter teeth I would feel more confident. So after I decided to actually go for the treatment, the process was really, really good. I got back in touch with Andy and I went back to Wollaton Park Dental Practice, and we did something called a clean check, which is basically where they would take an x-ray of my teeth to make sure there was no underlying problems that might affect the treatment. I also had like a mould taken of my teeth, because with Invisalign it's actually something that snaps onto your teeth, and what they use this for is to actually make the aligners themselves, but also make the actual clean check, which is where you have a video of what your teeth look like now and what they are going to look like throughout the treatment and at the very end of the treatment. So that was really, really good, because I could actually see something visually of how my teeth were going to be. Now obviously, because the clean check involves quite a lot of time for the dentist and also resources as well, it did cost £275 to have that done, but that would come off the total cost of the price of the aligners altogether if you decide to go ahead, and I was pretty sure that I was going to go ahead with the treatment. After that had been done, the moulds get sent off to the US because that's where Invisalign is based, and they process all the moulds and put together the clean check and the clip of the teeth of how they're going to look from the front, from the side, from the top and bottom. So it's a really, really in-depth thing that they do. And at this point I actually had an internet conversation with Andy where he went through absolutely everything. I can't tell you how in-depth it was. He told me the pros, the cons, what can happen, what I can expect to see, making sure I had realistic expectations. And then once we'd gone through that, it took about half an hour, I agreed to have the treatment, and he set the ball rolling. So he sent off for the aligners, which would then be sent over from the US as well. So about 2 weeks after this consultation over the internet, I was ready to go for my appointment to actually receive my first 2 sets of aligners. This was about 4 weeks ago, so it was just before Christmas that I actually got them fitted. So I was really nervous, really anxious about how it was going to feel, what they were going to look like. But when I went in, I was again totally put at ease. I saw the aligners, which actually look like this. These are my first set of aligners, so they don't look as clear as what they did first of all. So you have the top set of aligners and the bottom set of aligners, and I put them on and they felt so weird at first. It just felt like my mouth was completely different, but I was quite surprised at how much you couldn't really see them unless you were really, really up close. So he showed me how to put them in, how to take them out, that kind of thing, and I didn't actually leave them in at that particular time. I took them back out again. He told me to go home, have something to eat, clean my teeth, and then put them back in. When you first put the aligners in, apparently there has to be a certain amount of time that the tooth has pressure on before the bone starts to soften and then the teeth start to move, and that can be a little bit painful, which is why they recommend to put the aligners in before you go to bed so that you kind of sleep through the pain. Maybe take a paracetamol before you go to bed. But these aligners stay on for 22 hours a day, so you get 2 hours during the day to drink and eat. You can drink water with them in, but anything else would actually stain the aligners or damage the aligners, so you have to take them out to eat. So when I put them in on a Thursday night, I put them in, I thought, oh, these feel fine. They just feel a little bit tight. This is going to be no problem. Woke up in the morning and I was just like, ouch. It was really painful, and it was actually more painful actually trying to get the aligners out. Now this side of my mouth I think is a little bit worse than the other side, and I was actually trying to take them out from this side first, but after taking it out a few times, I discovered that it's actually easier for me to take from this side rather than this side for some reason. So when I was taking them out, that felt really painful, and it was almost like I felt like my teeth were going to fall out. They felt really loose. And then when it came to having my breakfast, I was really conscious of biting down. But I discovered after a couple of bites that they weren't going to fall out. They weren't particularly loose. They just felt a little bit achy. The first couple of days, I'm not going to lie, I did feel like, oh my goodness, I've got to have these on for 18 months. How am I going to cope with this? Because my mouth was just so sore. Not even with like just the teeth moving, but it was more where my tongue was rubbing on the aligners and my lips were rubbing on the aligners on the bottom and the top. It just felt really, really odd. I was getting a few ulcers, so I bought some like numbing cream for my mouth, and I just kept whacking that on. And after a couple of days, it actually settled down. It felt fine after the next couple of days, and over the next 2 weeks, they almost just felt like they were getting looser and looser. So you change your aligners every 2 weeks, so which meant that my next aligners were due to be changed Christmas Day, in the evening of Christmas Day. So because I'd already experienced the first lot of pain from the first one, I put my aligners in at night, took some paracetamol before I went to bed, and expected to be in a lot of pain in the next morning because my next set would be a lot tighter. And I was actually quite surprised. They didn't feel as bad as what I thought they would be, maybe because I was a little bit used to it. They were a little bit tender, but nowhere near as much as they were the first time. So now it is week 4 of my aligners, and I am due to change them again on Thursday. Now this time I've got to go back to the to see Andy again, because I've got to have something called slenderizing done, which is where they file in between the teeth to make room for your teeth to move even more, which I have to say I am not looking forward to at all. They are actually fitting something called buttons, which is where it's like tooth coloured bumps on your teeth, which actually help to push your teeth even more to make them straighter. So I'm guessing that once they're on, the movement might work a little bit faster as well. One thing that I was really impressed with is when I went for my appointment to actually have the aligners given to me and showed how to put them in, take them out, they gave me this cool little kit which has, you know, a solution to clean your aligners, some mouthwash, some like flossing sticks, and then a box with my 2 aligners in. When you get your aligners, you actually get a blue box like this and a red box, which is actually downstairs in my bag. The blue box is for your last set of aligners, so this is where I've kept my aligners from my last time, and then when I get my next set, the set that I'm wearing now will go back in here, and then these ones will go into the packet that they came from originally. And you do have to keep these just in case you have to go back to some previous aligners for any reason. Now in my red aligner case I actually have one of these. It's called a Chewy, and when you put your aligners in, you actually bite down on this to make sure that they are clipped into place properly. Just like that, and it just forces them down onto your teeth. Obviously you can't bite when they're on because you can damage them, so that is something that you do have to get used to as well. They are really easy to take out and put back in again. I have discovered a way. I actually use the top of my finger here and I press down and then take out. And try not to show you that too much just in case there's a lot of slobber on there. But they just come out that easy, and then push them back in and bite down on your chewy, and it's really that simple. When it comes to eating out, you can either go to the toilet and take them out, or it's just really easy just to put a tissue over your mouth, pop them out and then pop them in. The one thing that he did say to me is always make sure if they're not in your mouth, put them in the retainer box, because it's so easy to wrap them in a tissue and then pick up your tissue and just throw that away, and then you've lost your aligners and you have to pay for a new one. And for a replacement set of aligners just for the 2-week period is £100. So you do have to make sure that you really look after them. Now for my treatment, I'm actually having the Invisalign full, which means I'm having top and bottom, and I'm having them for a period of 18 months. Now I know that I'm getting married in July, which is only sort of 6-7 months away, but what I will do is have my treatment up until when I get married, have my aligners, take my aligners out, have my buttons taken off, and then I'll have like a break in that time, and then once I'm married I'll actually continue with the aligners for the rest of the 18 months. You get your aligners, and it's not just one set of aligners, you actually change your aligners every 2 weeks, and each set of aligners will be slightly straighter, and that's the way that it works. So you will see gradual improvements every 2 weeks. Andrew Toy is actually a Invisalign Platinum dentist, and he is so lovely. He works at many different places, not just at Wollaton Park Dental Practice, so I'll leave all of his links in the description box below so that you can find out where near you he might work. But he was absolutely fantastic. He really put me at ease. He made me feel comfortable, confident about having the treatment, and he really listened and he really personalised it for me. He made sure that I knew exactly what I wanted, or he understood what I wanted. He also gave me some examples of teeth that looked like mine that I might get a result from. I couldn't recommend him enough. So if you do live around this area, please make sure that you go and see him so that you can get your consultation. My initial consultation was free. My ClinCheck then cost £275. As far as pricing goes for the Invisalign, don't quote me specifically, but costs are around £3,500. But there are different options available for how you can pay. But of course, prices are going to be different for everybody depending on what work you need doing, how long it needs to be done for, and if you need any additional work as well. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. It's just a bit of information from me to give to you in case you are thinking of having an Invisalign treatment or any other brace. So make sure you check back in a couple of months, because I will be doing an update on how my treatment is going and how that I'm feeling as well with everything. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you again next time. Bye!